And then when you're ready, we'll all gently glide onto the back. No rushing in this practice. Everything is slow. Even if you're not used to moving slow, we practice being slow here. And once you're on your back, you're going to have your right leg up in the air. And you can have your left knee bent or your left leg on the floor. And then the option here is to interlace your hands at the belly of your right hamstring. Or if you have something like a strap, you can loop it around your right foot. Also a belt loop might work, or a belt, not a belt loop, but a belt, or a tie or something like that. So if you want to go grab something, you can. Otherwise, hold your right leg here and just point and flex your right foot a few times. And then circle the right ankle around. Good, and then soften your shoulders a bit and maybe move your head side to side just to encourage your neck to be long. And we're going to just pause here in this hamstring stretch. Your right knee might be bent a little, that's fine. It might be bent a lot. And then let's become more aware of our breath. So you might feel the inhale expanding your belly and your ribs. And as you exhale, you feel a settling and a softening in your whole body. And even though there's a little effort in this shape, as you hold your leg, I want you to see if you can soften that effort. Create some ease around it. And the beautiful thing about this style of practice is it really gives us time and space to listen to our bodies. And you get to decide how much you want to feel or how much you want to release. And after you've been holding the shape for a minute or so, you might choose to pull the leg towards you a little more. Or you might choose to move the leg away from you a little more. Keep noticing if your shoulders creep up or your face tightens in any way. Maybe relax your jaw and your mouth a bit. Good. Let's stay here for about 3 more breaths. And gently bend your right knee. And you're gonna hug it in towards your chest, okay? And then move your hip a little side to side. Just kind of massage that huge ball and socket joint, maybe a little circle. Good, and then we're gonna do two shapes on this side before we go to the second side. So the second shape is gonna be a twist, but it's a very specific kind of twist. So you're gonna take your left hand to the outside of your right knee, guide the knee across your body as far as you can, or as far as you'd like, right? And then take your right arm up between the shoulder and the ear at an angle with the palm facing up. So you can keep your left hand here on the outer right knee. Maybe there's some support under your right knee, like a rolled up towel or a block. And then if you want to deepen this twist, you can kind of come out of it for a second and scoot that left hip underneath you. Gaze turns over to the right. Eyes are softly closed. So this twist is known as universal twist, and it's said to stretch more parts of your body than any other pose in yoga. Essentially, because it's stretching most of the right side of your body, right? But depending on your individual body, you might feel the sensations in one particular spot the most, and just bring your awareness there. Notice some healing, releasing breaths. Just staying here for a few more rounds of breath and really sliding each breath into your tissues, into that beautiful release that occurs when we twist the body. And ever so gently, we'll come back to center. You can put that right foot on the floor next to your left knee, scoot your hips back to center. And then just pause in a Shavasana. So stretch both legs long, rest your hands on your belly or alongside your body. Feel everything as it is, and specifically the shifts in the right side versus the left side. Good, and then bring that left knee in, left leg up. Feel free to put that right foot on the floor if that feels better on your back. Grab your left leg. Point and flex your left foot a few times. circle the ankle. And pause with the foot flex, push up through your heel a little. Really feel your shoulders release down, head is heavy. Maybe you're looping the foot with your strap. So this is one of the best things you can do for your body at the end of the day, to give the legs a break and to create some space in the hamstrings, which really get locked up from underuse and overuse, kind of both. I don't care who you are, we all have tight hamstrings. So you can just rest in a place of deep acceptance and love for your body, just as it is. And every breath is a gentle release, peeling away layers. Again, even though you're working a little to hold the leg, just see if you can soften in the shoulders more, maybe in your fingers a little more. Good, just a couple more breaths here. Bend your left knee and just hug the knee in towards your chest. And do a little bit of movement side to side or hip circles. Good, and then use your left hand to the outside of your right hand to the outside of your left leg and cross it over your body. And then take that left arm up between the shoulder and the ear. Let it hang in its own weight. Maybe scoot that right hip under just a notch to feel more. Your head can gently turn to the left. So in my email, I talked about this season of giving and receiving. And I think most of us know or have felt that they're really tied together so closely. When we give, we receive, and when we receive, we have more to give. And I think this practice is such a beautiful one of checking in with oneself and recognizing what you need to receive, what's missing, what you might need to give away that's not yours, that's not necessary. And really just trying to find a cup that is full, a cup that feels positive and loving and good and kind. Let's just take about 5 more breaths here. And guide your way back to center nice and slow. Even out your hips. Good. And let's just pause with the knees bent and the feet all the way to the edges of the mat. The knees will teepee together. And you can again just rest your arms alongside your body or put your hands on your belly. And check in again here, settling your spine, settling your lumbar, lower back in particular. Both of those stretches really help target those tissues. As you're ready, bring your feet back together. Roll off to one side. Use your hands and just very gently press up. Let's take our legs into a wide straddle. So you can sit up on a rolled up towel or a bolster, just to give your spine a little more length. Bend your knees if you need to as well. And in Yin Yoga, we encourage the spine to really round. So as we come into this fold, start with the head, let your chin come down, then round your shoulders, then round your upper back and your middle back. You can start to walk your hands forward. And you're just going to hang here over the legs, okay? If you have some blocks and you want to stack them up and rest your forearms on them, you can. Any support that you might need, honor that. You can even maybe take your rolled up towels. Otherwise, just that ability to completely let go and hang and pause at the edge of sensation. It's such a gift. It's such a way to receive heaviness, receive going inward. Just keep letting your body hang forward. One more minute. And recognize the moments maybe where there's a little resistance or it might feel challenging to receive the shape, to receive the tension that may start to arise, and to really give yourself the breaths to truly let it soften. Even if it's just a little millimeter, right? Doesn't have to be a big shift. Baby shifts. Baby gifts to your body. Two more nice slow breaths. And then come up very slowly, just stacking one vertebra on top of the other. Maybe take a pause once you come to a tall spine. And we'll make our way on to hands and knees. And I want you to take your knees pretty wide apart, so they're not right under your hips. They're kind of towards the edges of your mat. Your hands can be a little further forward in front of your shoulders, and you're just going to move the hips around, little circles. Just opening up some of that junk in the pelvis and in the hips. Great, and then try this out. I'm going to invite you into two different shapes. One could be a traditional child's pose. You bring your big toes together. Or the other option is to keep your legs wide so that, your toes are basically just in the same line as your knees. And then sit back as far as you can from there. So this is deeper in the hips, in the back. And if you're pretty flexible, you might come all the way back. Otherwise, you might be more halfway up. You could come down to your elbows if you want. You could hold your head here if you want. Or you might just come all the way down and let your head touch the floor. So there are many things to feel here. But we don't want to feel pain that is unbearable. So just play with your edge, adjust the shape for your body as needed. And try to relax your head and your face. Just one more minute here. from here, you're just going to bring yourself back up onto the hands and knees. Wiggle your knees back just so they're under your hips. And then walk your arms forward. If your knees are a little sensitive here, you can put some padding under your knees. Walk your arms forward, take a half dog, just opposite direction, melt the heart down. So this is different than child's pose or what we just did with that hip with the hips. Your pelvis stays right over your knees here. And then the heart really melts. Your forehead or your chin can come down to the mat, or maybe you might even rest your head on a rolled up towel or a block. And one more minute here. Just keep sliding your breath into where you feel sensations. Giving yourself this space, this time. No need to wonder or wander. Just being present, right here, right now. Okay, come up, walk your hands back. And tonight we're going to do a good old pigeon. So your right knee is going to come behind your right wrist. Your left leg's going to come long. Or in Yin Yoga, we call it Swan Pose. And of course, if this is too much for your hips, come on your back, thread the needle. You can also put some support underneath your, kind of right under your outer right hip if you want a little cushion there, some support. Maybe come down to your elbows. Maybe hold your head here. This is a nice option. Elbows bend, hold your head. Or you can come all the way down and rest your head on your forearms. Those of you doing thread the needle, I think you all have been here before and know this one, but just in case, the right ankle crosses over the left thigh and you interlace your hands in the belly of your left hamstring. Okay. So similar stretch, but just different shapes. Okay. And just keep staying in this practice, the gift of this practice. It's not always easy or comfortable, but usually right on the other side of challenge or discomfort is a beautiful release or a beautiful knowing, beautiful spaciousness. Let's take one more deep, full breath on this side. And come up. If you're on your back, just release and switch sides. You can come back to your hands and knees and then switch that left knee behind the left wrist. And adjust here a little, maybe prop yourself up. Ease your way in. I always like to think of pigeon like the best kind of therapy. It really just starts to bring to the surface some of the physical parts of us that we don't really want to look at or feel. And then we choose to feel and look at them anyway. And that can translate as well into, of course, the mental patterns, the dramas, the worries, the frustrations. And we just allow it all to be, allow it all to come up. And through that allowing, we then can move through it. We can then truly release it. Let's hold here just a little bit longer. Deepen your breath if you like. As you're ready, come up. And you can come back to your hands and knees, or you can just swing that back leg around. And we're going to end our practice in a restorative heart opener. So I'm just going to use my rolled up towel, but you can use a bolster. You can put one under your heart, one under your head, and it's just going to line the spine kind of right at the mid upper back. And then the soles of your feet can come together. And you really want to feel like there's a puffing up in your chest. Your arms can come out to the side like goalposts, or just alongside the body with the palms up. And settle in here by closing your eyes. If there's any tension in your lower back, you might come off the props or maybe scoot your hips forward an inch or two. And of course, you don't have to have your hips open. You can have your legs long on the floor. And we'll just be here for a couple minutes, ending our practice in the space of the heart. So the heart is where we give and receive energetically. If you know the chakra system, the heart chakra is full of compassion, forgiveness, and of course, love. And I'd love for you to consider just naming in your mind's eye what you want to receive, what you want to bring into your life. It's a powerful time. We just had a new moon, solar eclipse, which basically just magnifies the new moon energy times 100. So the universe is spacious, it's open. It wants you to feel possibilities and to create the, not necessarily even the future life that you want, but the life you have now. Through your thoughts, through your feelings, through your emotions, through a level of contentment and spaciousness. So let's rest in this space one more minute. Excuse me. So as you're ready here, we're just going to bring the knees together, roll off your props, and make your way into your final resting shape. So that could be on your back, that could be rolling into your bed. Maybe you want to move into a seated meditation. Whatever you need, make sure that it's comfortable. Make sure that you can find some stillness and really tuning into the feeling of doing absolutely nothing. So when we talk about this practice being a gift and we're giving to ourselves, I want you to give yourself permission to do nothing and to soften and to not worry about anything at all. Just this moment, this breath, this beautiful vessel that carries your spirit, your body. Let it rest, let it heal. And let your breath be just natural, effortless, gliding in and out through your nose. Great night, friends.